What's up, people? This is Braxton. Please excuse the, statically sound that you hear. It's just my phone sucks, and I'm shooting it off of that. It's the only thing I got to really actually record myself. But I made a couple videos, put them on YouTube, put them on Facebook. They haven't got a lot of likes. I guess I'm not really going to care about those anymore. Those were, back in the day. Made a couple of them recently, but, still they haven't had any likes. But it's whatever. Hopefully this video would actually get a lot more views, maybe a little bit comments here and there. That's what I'm kind of hoping. But I'm coming to you to talk to you about a movie idea or an idea in general about an old television show called The Rugrats. I grew up with it when I was a kid. It was a great show. I wish it was still going on, but some things just got to come to an end. And this is just my idea. If they were to come up with a series comeback, this would be my idea of my comeback for the Rugrats. I'm just going to get into the characters right fast, explain to you about them a little bit, and just give you my idea, a quick look into it. So, here we go. So, we have Tommy Pickles. He was the leader of the whole entire group. He was the one that came up with everything. He was the one that mainly did everything. He's brave, loyal, and kind, and everything like that. Best friend is Chucky, redheaded kid, scaredy cat. Now, Chucky, even though Chucky was scary, he did have his times of being brave here and there, but that was only because his friends actually got into some serious situations where they couldn't come out of it, and he had to step up his game a little bit. Other than that, he was my favorite character. Actually, Chucky would actually be my favorite character, and then Tommy would be my second favorite. The next two, Phil and Lil, the twins, they were always arguing with each other, always had a fascination between eating bugs, kind of like a Timon and Pumbaa thing going on there with them. But those two always had each other's backs. They always had Tommy and Chucky's backs. And, they were actually the ones that actually really got their whole entire team in trouble. They were the ones that actually came up with the idea. I don't know. I don't want to say they came up with the ideas, and it was just Tommy that just did the blueprints for the whole entire thing. Chucky was the one that was like, nah, I don't want to do it. It's not a good idea. But Phil and Lil, just disgusting motherfuckers, honestly. Angelica was the bitch of them all. She was the bossy one, the bully. She picked on everybody, but picked on Chucky more than the rest. She is related to Tommy. I believe they're cousins. Yeah, they are cousins. Kimmy is Chucky's sister-in-law. Don't really have that much on Kimmy, on the standpoint of facts that I stopped watching the show after a little bit because they started doing the whole grown up series, and they hadn't really had Kimmy in that many episodes. So Kimmy actually came really onto the scene in the Rugrats Go to Paris, and they kind of developed on her along the way in the grown up series, but I've only watched 2 episodes, so I really don't have that much on Kimmy. Susie Carmichael is the black chick of the Rugrats, which actually, no, I should honestly change that. I should honestly say that Susie should be my favorite just on the standpoint of the fact that she's black. But she would have to be my third favorite. But she came onto the scene a couple times here and there. They didn't really have her that much in the show, but she was there. She was always helping the babies out with their problems, always protecting them from Angelica. Angelica and Susie always actually were at each other's throats, really. And with that being said, with just like a quick overview of the characters real fast, and I'm just going to get into this. My idea is, they had the whole Rugrats growing up thing. That totally bombed. It failed. It sucked. In my opinion, it was awful. The worst idea that they could have came up with, except for the one where they did have the Rugrats growing up. That was part of the segment of them being babies and then see what it would be like if they were actually to become teenagers. That was cool. That was fine because it went with the whole entire Rugrats thing. It was part of the imaginational part of the whole entire thing. I just didn't like the fact that they scrapped the whole entire imagination thing and just moved them on into a high school area and it just got rid of the whole concept of Rugrats. So I didn't like it. I didn't watch it. I mean, I've watched 2 episodes, but other than that, no, I didn't like it at all. But I'm saying for this, they're not teenagers. They're actually adults. They're actually, full-blown adults handling their own. Their parents are old as fuck. But I want to say Tommy Pickles follows his father, does what his father did, and that was inventing. But if you follow the history of Rugrats, Tommy's father kind of just never really had a perfect invention, except for that Reptar wagon. That was badass. And the Reptar, the thing that flew, I forget what they called it, but that was also cool. But I'm saying Tommy invents electronics or whatever, like he's big time in it. He's really good at it. He's really smart. He's top dog, not top dog in the world, but he's getting up there. He has competition and everything. Chucky, on the standpoint fact that the character was a scary cat, I'm just going to say that this man is a karate teacher. Why a karate teacher? If you know karate, do you think you're about to be afraid of every little thing anymore? Not really. So, I mean, I'm not saying that she's like Bruce Lee or, Daredevil Fearless or anything like that. I'm just saying that he's, handling himself a little bit better than he was when he was a child. Phil and Lil, I would say, would have to be mechanics on the standpoint fact that those two was always getting in the dirt, always getting dirty. So, mechanics do dirty stuff. They get dirty. That's what they do. They run their own business. They handle themselves. They still argue back and forth. But, they're siblings. That's what siblings do. Kimmy, seeing how I don't know that much about her, I'm just going to go off her looks and say that she's an artist. So I would say that she would have to have a field in being an artist or something like that. Angelica, I would say, follows her mom, becomes a CEO because she was a bossy, mean, and spoiled. She gets her way. She's top contender, and nobody really messes with her. Susie, I do believe that in the All Grown Up series, they had her going on to being a singer, so I'm actually going to keep that part and actually have it that she's actually a famous singer, so she's handling her own. And I would like to say that they all have their own children. They all have their own kids now. They're at that point where they can have their own kids. So they all have their own kids, but the cast of Rugrats totally forgot who they are. They totally changed who they are. They forgot everything that they came from because now they're handling their own. And I just want to say something like one of Tommy's inventions is about to take him to the top. Like, it's about to skyrocket his career. And, his competition finds out, like, I'm saying some dude, maybe 3, 4 people find out about it. They try to sabotage him and end up turning him back into a baby. Now, Tommy's stuck being a baby. He's got to get the group back together to try to figure this out, to try to stop this guy. They all end up getting turned back into babies also. I'm not sure if I would say Susie gets turned back into a baby on the standpoint fact that she wasn't really in the cast. I mean, I guess it would keep her as an adult just to have an inside source, somebody that can actually understand them. But I'm just saying it would be an interesting idea to have that kind of a thing where they start as adults, forget who they are, have their own babies, and actually get transformed back into babies and actually interact with their children on the level that they used to be able to interact with. So now they're getting along with their children on a basis that they can't understand as adults. And it's just, it would be a really good, interesting, actually, no, Susie would actually be the adult, because you're going to need an adult to do something. Somebody's going to have to be able to supervise this whole entire thing, unless Angelica's the one supervising it, seeing how she was the only one of the group that could actually talk and understand the babies, even though they couldn't speak. I just realized that. That's funny. But I would just have it, that would be an interesting idea, to have them go back to being babies with their babies, going on some crazy, insane adventure to stop some other dude from stealing one of Tommy's inventions, and then just actually becoming close again. Because honestly, as they grew up and grew apart and handled their own stuff, they grew apart from each other. They stopped doing their things, and You know, it the movie would just bring them closer. The idea would bring them closer. I think it would be an awesome comeback. People would go down and watch this. People would be like, oh, the Rugrats. I remember this. This was awesome. This movie idea is awesome. The whole entire thing is awesome. You know, it's just one of those things. So that's just my idea. That's just my input. If somebody actually does go out and make, the movie to it, I hope I get credit for it because they probably saw this. It was like, okay, this is crappy quality video. I can't believe I just sat here and watched this whole entire thing. But this kid does have a point. That would be a good idea. So this is just one of my many movie ideas. I'll come back later with if this one actually is up there in popularity, I guess, whatever you kids like to do these days. But if it actually gets a lot of views, comments, or whatever, I'll actually come out and spill one of my movie ideas, one of my actual movie ideas of my own creation that isn't a runoff of somebody else's, and see how that one goes. So this is Braxton saying peace out, people. Like it, follow it, whatever y'all do on YouTube, I don't care. Just hit a brother up. Bye now.